Hey yo, it's time to roar, get loud, let's ignite. Jeremy B in the house, we keeping it tight. Every weekday at 11, we ready to ride. Lions Talk Live, come and join the pride. Waking up early, it's that morning grind. Tune in to the show, leave the troubles behind. Jeremy B's the king, with the voice like thunder. Every word he spits, it's a lyrical wonder. Got the lions around, sharp and fierce. When we hear one pride, you can't help but feel your heart pierce. Talking all the topics, keep it real, keep it raw. With a lion's mentality, we're ready for the roar. One pride, it feels right. Jeremy B bringing the heat, morning light. Every weekday at 11, we taking flight. Lions Talk Alive, yeah, we ready to bite. One pride, hear us loud. Jeremy's in the zone, making us proud.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Hey, that's right. It's Lions Talk with Smoking JB and BA Bistrella. What's up, brother?
What's going on, JB?
What do you think of that preview article I wrote?
That was awesome, man. You always do a good job.
I know. I'm just saying. I really put some work into that one.
Yeah.
Looking up. I wanted to be realistic, and everybody says you actually have a way the Lions lose is what they commented. That there's always a way. Look at the Packers.
Yeah. Yep.
That being said, before we get into the pregame stuff and all of that, before we get into the signing, the minor signings and practice squad signings, and then the injury report, I want to get into this. It's your Week 3 NFC North leaders. Guess who's number one as a quarterback for yardage in the NFC North?
Well, that's duh. He's the best quarterback in the division. He's the best quarterback in the division.
761 yards. Here's the surprising one. Guess who's second?
Caleb.
Yes. Then Jordan.
That's not a surprise either. Jordan Love sucks. I mean, he don't suck, but he's not playing up to his ability. And we don't know who quarterback is going to be for Minnesota on a day-to-day basis. So.
In fourth place, it's J.J. McCarthy still, because Carson Wentz only has 1 week, but almost has his yardage, because J.J. through 1 3/4 of the week had 301 yards passing.
Yeah, that figures. Yeah.
Rushing yards, number one, David fucking Montgomery. Knuckles, 233. Number two, Jordan Mason, which is something we said might happen, that he might be the second, because we all know that Aaron Jones, he is not made of glass, but he's getting older and he's due to get hurt and miss some time from here to there. And we said that was a low-key great move for the Vikings in the offseason, getting Jordan Mason. Couldn't be worse than Alex Madison. That's all I got to say.
Jordan Mason may take over that number one role.
Yep. He has 214. Then Jahmyr Gibbs and Josh Jacobs are tied at 180.
It's about right.
Receiving yards, number one, Amon-Ra, 237. Number two, Roma Dunze. Number three,
playing really well.
Yes, he is.
Who's number three?
Number three is Justin Jefferson. And number four is Jamison Williams. You notice what team I didn't mention there?
Yeah, Green Bay.
I just want to throw that out there.
I'm just saying, Green Bay is the team that I knew they were going to be. They don't want to sit up there and talk about Super Bowl because they got one guy. One guy ain't going to make you go to the Super Bowl, bro. It's the whole team.
But for Jim Jackson and all those guys that love it, here you go. There she goes, Jim. Now let's talk about touchdown leaders. Caleb and Jared are tied with 7 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying, Dwayne.
You're absolutely right, Michael Huck. His production may go down. Number 3, because we're tied with 1 and 2 at 7, is Jordan Love with 5. And J.J. McCarthy and Carson Wentz are tied at 4 with 2.
So now, Michael, the one comment they had with Addison coming big may reduce Jefferson's yards. Didn't do that the year before though. Jefferson was still second in yards with Addison playing. So
yep, Jefferson still led that team because there's times when people say, okay, we're going to shut down Jefferson, and then they go to Addison. This is what happens. They start doubling Jefferson, then they go to Addison. Then Addison has a great game. And then they say, wow, we can't do this. And they end up in one-on-one coverages, and it ends up averaging out with Justin Jefferson on top, Addison in second, and then a plethora of guys in third.
Well, you can. I mean, Thielen's going to be a big part of that now because he's there, and you got Hawkinson. So you got some really good targets for Wentz to throw to. What up, Jim? JJ.
We got 32 people watching 5 minutes in. This is great.
There you go.
That's across all the networks, and I know a lot of you are on X. And just remember, your comments don't always come through on X. So if you're having that issue and you want to comment and have me react to it, please go to the YouTube side. Check out Kneecap Biting with the Motor City Lions. Check out One Ass Cheek and Three Toes. Check out the Huddle Sports Network. Those come through with no problem. Also, the Facebook pages of Motor City Kneecap Biters. Is that just your profile that you got up there, BA?
Yeah, I got my profile and my own YouTube. Yeah.
Or the main event if you're a fan of Event Mike.
That whole defensive line is going to have a good game.
The one thing I can say about this, let's talk about that. I put it up here. The key to the game is the same as it was last week. Against a dominant defense, which is what we expected to see out of the Ravens. We did not expect to see what we saw. Is score first and control the clock. Do you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
So that means our run game. Thank you, Fred. Yeah, you know why? You get a lot less drama unless you ask for it.
You're right. Exactly.
That's all I got to say about the YouTube side. You know what I hardly ever have to do on the YouTube side? Ban somebody unless it's one of those clown joke ones.
Mm-hmm.
Who are your players to watch for both teams? I know who mine is on the Browns. I'm going to let you take this one.
Well, who you want me to go with? The Browns or the Lions?
Both. Just give me your key players.
For the Lions, Hutchinson. I think Hutchinson's going to be more active in this game than he's been the whole season. I really think he's going to get to Flacco a few times. I think the whole defensive line is going to be awesome. Demo again. I'm not going that way, Jim. Gibbs, it's not his turn to go off. You know why? Because that defensive line is tight and they have a good run defense. I think what you got to do, like what they did with Montgomery, pound that ball. Montgomery he runs people over. So you got to get that's a mounted game too. Anytime you have a defense that stops the run real well, you got to pound the ball in there. And Monty is the guy. Gibbs will be the flash guy, obviously. As far as the run game, I'm looking for Monty to do his thing. As far as the defensive side, like I said, I think the defense is going to tee off on Cleveland. Cleveland is worse offensively than Baltimore is. So think about that. If Shepard puts in a good play calling sheet against Cleveland, they're going to wreak havoc. I would bear. This is why I think that Detroit's going to win by a bunch because I don't think their offense can get anything against our defense right now. I just don't. They don't have any good weapons. They got two good weapons, and both of them, like Judy, he can get locked down, and then you got the running back, the rookie running back. He did very well against Green Bay, but he's not going to do that against the Lions. They got too good of a run defense. I just think that the Lions defense is going to tee off on Cleveland's offense this time. Defensively, what I'm looking for. Who's not going to say Myles Garrett? Myles Garrett is the guy. Second place in there is going to be Mason Graham, but Myles Garrett's going to be the guy. He's going to line up all over the place, just like they try to do Micah. So
yeah, they don't really have another. Their DT2 is not bad either. He's very good against the run,
mm-hmm.
but Mason Graham is the one that can collapse the pocket and free up the defensive ends. That's the difference. The other guy's just a space eater in the rushing game.
Yeah, he's a run stopper.
I agree. Myles Garrett and the defensive front is the biggest advantage, designed to pressure the quarterback and eliminate the run game. They held Green Bay's potent offense to just 10 points in week 3. And just remember, this is Jim Schwartz coming home again.
Yeah, we know what like to do that.
Ricky Sikat. Our O-line needs to dominate and wear down the Browns. Yes, we need to do the same thing. The only thing is it's going to be a little bit tougher because they're not missing their best defensive tackle in the middle. So the holes in the middle might clog up. And if those clog up, you're going to see more of the outside run, and that's where you might see Gibbs do better. But if it's through the middle, it's going to be Demo, just like it was last week. Just Demo hits that hole at a different level than Jahmyr Gibbs does too. And I'm not saying Jahmyr Gibbs doesn't hit the holes that are made properly. He just attacks it differently. Demo's more north and south, whereas with the shimmy and shake, sometimes it gets Gibbs in trouble at the O-line. Do you disagree with any of that?
No, nope. Yeah, he's not going to. I just don't think he's going to be able to run like he did. Again, you got to remember something too. Baltimore's defense isn't the greatest. This is a really good defense, so you're going to have to. It starts at the defense though, and as long as they can't get to Goff don't have to do too much. Just run the ball and throw short passes. He's going to have to have like a 2-second cushion to throw that ball. So
specifically. The main runs have gone to the opposite side of Myles Garrett because Myles Garrett is good in the run game too. So I expect to see some outside runs that might get Gibbs free. I don't. It might be 10 plus sacks for the Lions this game. That offensive line
either. I think it's going to be.
That offensive line is 5 turnstiles in a New York City subway at rush hour. What are you talking about, BA?
Flacco is a different kind of quarterback than Lamar is. Lamar kind of will, if he can't find it, he was too busy in that game, really not trying to run. He was trying to find open targets. And I think that won't be a problem with Flacco because he's not a run-first quarterback. He's not a running quarterback. He's a Jared Goff, basically. Just not a very good Jared Goff. He'll be in a pocket and he'll probably get rid of the ball more times than find a solution. So I don't see the 7-sack games are real hard to come by. I don't get excited about that.
I just want to see it again. I'm sorry.
It maybe four sacks at the most in this game, but again, their offense is not going to be able to move. They're going to stop the run and they're stopping the pass. There's no threats on their offense. None.
I know. That being said, the other key is this offense of ours, the unstoppable force. Other than the week 1 miscommunication week, what has this offense done? 52 points and 38 points. That's 90 points in 2 weeks. That's 6 rushing touchdowns and 6 passing touchdowns in 2 weeks. That's each game, guys. When you add the rushing is total. How many pressures did Baltimore get? A total of 9 and 5 QB hits. I think they're still working on tests. I'm going to address this real. It's not that they don't want to pass the Tesla. The Ravens defense did one thing right. When he was on the field and he was on there 8 more plays than the previous week, he was double covered in passing plays. They were not letting him be coleslaw. He was not open, so therefore he was not white and dangerous. How many yards did Jones get on them last week?
What are you talking about? Aaron Jones? I mean, not Aaron Jones.
You mean
Jones.
Jacobs? Jacobs got less
yeah.
than 60 yards.
Yeah, I think it was like 50 something. Yeah.
I think it was 58 yards in
Mm-hmm.
She said thinks we're going to lose just because they did. Don't think we're looking past them as they did. That's the difference. And I like to address that. Some people look at a game and just say, "Oh, that's a bad team." We did it once.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what game I'm talking about. And it was back during our run in the 2022-23 season, where we didn't prepare for the opponent in front of us, and that was that Carolina Panther game.
Yeah, I said that was the one game that I didn't like what Dan Campbell said before the game. He already had in his mind that they're going to lose this game, obviously, because he knew how this game was going to go. They just ran the ball down our throat and did it really well.
Hey, that's why we saw St. Brown in one-on-ones when he was in. He was in for almost 20 plays, Ricky. So it's increased every week. I expected more. He had a poor run grade, yet on both of those big runs, Tesla was in, and Amon-Ra and him were a big reason why he made big runs. And I watched a video breaking down a Ravens podcaster that downloaded a bunch of clips of Roquan Smith, specifically singled out, like zoomed in and everything, and he edited it in. And he goes, Roquan Smith has to be the biggest overpay at linebacker in the NFL at this time.
I saw this, and speaking of clips too, I saw this one guy broke down this one particular play. Remember the pass that Amon St. Brown got on that 4th and 2, and it was a nice, pretty pass?
Yeah.
He showed that the Lions set that thing up for like 3 or 4 plays during the 4th quarter before that happened. And he was like, yeah, they kept running Amon St. Brown into the line and out to block or to run block. And so the Baltimore was getting into that mentality that's what that play was about. He was just going in there to block until he leaked out the one for the 4th and 2. And that's the one where Hamilton had to grab him Marlon Humphrey had to grab him, he got the penalty, but Amon still caught it. It was amazing. I was like, wow, damn, they just set their ass up for that.
See, now I know why they don't do a package with Gibbs and Monty in the backfield. Number one, Gibbs is not as good at pass blocking. Number two, Gibbs is not as good at running back. But at the same time, if you put both of them in, they know it's a run play 99.9% of the time, and all they're going to do is put 8 men in the box and stop it. So by doing it one at a time and using the motions like they do, and week 1, we hardly saw any motion out of Detroit. Where'd that go? What have we done the last 2 weeks? A ton of motion. When you have 68 offensive plays and there's motion on 38 of them, that's a lot of motion in the game. And that's what helps Jared Goff too.
I like the I formation that Morton had put in there because they did pass out of that too.
Right.
One was to the porta potty, and the other one was to Amon. So they can do stuff out of that I formation. I love that I formation. That was just like a offense, a whole added offense that they put in there. It's awesome.
Right. So, like I said, 20 of those offensive plays Tesla was in, and out of those 20, I believe 14 of them are running plays. Yeah, I said the same thing. We got to win at least 2 just to have a chance to make the playoffs.
Sorry, I don't share any of those sentiments with you guys. I hope they lose every freaking game because when they get in the playoffs, they're going to get their ass kicked. So it doesn't make a difference. It's worthless at this point. You lost a 12.5 game lead. I don't even go there.
Worse. July 8th, it was 15.5.
It sucks, man.
I know
Hinch is going to get fired. Hinch is going to get fired. He's going to get fired.
It's not his fault.
Well, it is his fault. He's a coach. He's got to get them players up to be winning those games. That is definitely his fault. He's the coach.
And
you got to blame him. He's the coach.
We all have heard all season what the Tigers needed, and it did not get addressed at the trade deadline. We all talked about it.
What was that?
That they
Relief
needed
pitching?
they needed another starter with Reese Olson going out because Casey Mize
That's what they
started this
got Morton
downslide
for.
and he sucks. But I'm
Yeah,
saying we
well, I
needed a
mean,
valid.
they didn't.
We needed a better one.
They got what they needed. They got enough pitchers. Finnegan turned out to be very, very good. But
I'm still upset that they never called up Kyle Monaghan, who's batting 308 in the minors with 19 home runs. We could have called him up. That'd have been a right-handed power bat we needed.
we didn't need any hitting.
Our run production
pitching.
over the last 2 months. We had 2 games where we scored 23 runs. Do you know what we average every 2 weeks right now, other than the Yankees game? It's 23 runs in 8 games. 23 runs when we had 26 and 2.
It's still not the hitting. It's not. When you're giving up 3 runs before the fucking offense gets out there, that's the problem. And the pitching has been horrible. I mean, horrible.
Other than Skubal,
like
yeah.
the Skubal went out there that one game, pitched all the way up to the 7th inning. They pulled him, and he was winning the game.
Yeah, it was like
and Melton comes in there, and gives up 3 runs, and we lose. You can't do that. If the guy is pitching well, Hinch, leave his ass in there. He does that too many times with these pitchers. He's got to stop doing that. That's part of the problem why the Lions are losing too. I mean, the Tigers are losing too. Don't put no bad juju on the Lions.
Right now, the Chicago Bears defense has more sacks than the Packers defense, and we held them to nothing. I'm telling you, Torkelson is fine when he's got one guy on the base in the game and it's nothing or 1-0 the other team. He'll hit a bomb. But when it's 2 men on and you're 1 run down in the 8th inning and he comes up to bat, he strikes out or pops out. He's choking. They're all pressing too hard on the offense. I'm saying they need some fresh blood in that offense. That's all I'm saying.
It's too late for that now. It's playoff time. So if they get in the playoffs, this is the point though. If you get in the playoffs, you're going to run into good pitching. That's what the playoffs are. Good pitching. You're going to run up against that team's 3 or 4 good pitchers. So you got it. Bats might not always be good. You got to have the pitching though. And if you don't have the pitching, and the Tigers they don't have that pitching, they're screwed.
Other than Skubal, that's all they got.
Yeah, that's all they got. They don't have Mize is shaky. Mize is shaky. Flaherty, you can forget that.
Flaherty, it used to be every 3 games you'd get a gem out of him. Yeah. Now it's like every 10.
It's like, is it even every 10? Shit.
Yeah, it's every 10. He has a decent game every 10. And the other night, it wasn't Flaherty that lost us that game. It was the bullpen again.
There's a relief pitching. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, Laporta Potty. You want to know why we call him that? Because he shits on defenses everywhere.
I like how Bandit
courtesy of Bandit.
Because he can only says it the right way. Anyway.
Yeah, Jackson Jobe injury was big. That happened just before the All-Star break when he went out.
Yeah, I know. Reese is the guy that I think was the guy that Reese. Yeah, Reese, man. He went out.
If your rotation was Flaherty at the 5, you'd feel a lot better. Because you know what Flaherty becomes in the playoffs? An extra reliever because you only carry 4 starters. And bringing him in as a mid reliever with no stress, which is what they did the year before when he didn't have to start because we had some decent pitching.
I tell you, if they could have made it to if they make it to the playoffs and Reese is able to come back, that would set their pitching staff up because I have faith in Skubal. Obviously, he's the number 1. And then Mize is, if Mize is backed up with these good pitching and Reese comes in there and does a hell of a job, let's hope that they can pitch longer. If they get in the playoffs, Hinch will let them pitch longer. That way it won't tax their relief pitchers too much.
After 3 weeks, I have one question for you and all the fans. You have to have a minimum of 110 snaps to count. So anybody who only played 1 or 2 games, they're out, right? The injured quarterbacks, all them, they don't count. Who has the highest completion percentage in the NFL?
Goff.
One Jared motherfucking Goff.
Goff is the man. I'm getting sick of defending him too because I can't. You're right, Jim. Limping into the playoffs is not good. School can't do it all. He can't. Yeah, but going back on the Lions,
a week ago today, the main injury that I said was a big problem for the Ravens was Matabuke, even more than Kyle Van Noy, because he is the reason why those defensive ends get free. He's one of those space eaters that can collapse the pocket. Between the two of them, do you know what they lost? 9.5 sacks. They lost 9.5 sacks this season out of that game. So whether it's, I don't know who had more, Matabuke or Kyle Van Noy, but they're a big part of why they were a sack team before that. They dropped from top 10 all the way down into the 20s after that one game with not getting a sack.
Well, I mean, they weren't doing that well when they started the season anyway. They were giving up a lot of points. I mean, they gave up 41 freaking points to Buffalo. Come on.
I mean, even look during the bad game when Goff was pressured, he still didn't have a bad game throwing the ball.
Yeah,
against
he was
Green
still
Bay.
steady.
He was still steady. He did what he was supposed to do. He even completed a touchdown pass. And yes, it was in garbage time. So yes, that was a really bad loss in Green Bay, but it was a really cool catch by Tesla to get the touchdown, which made us.
That was our
happy.
preseason game. That was our actual preseason game for the starters.
That was our starters. Yeah, we've been saying this for how many years in a row now, BA? I know I've said it for 3.
They need to start playing them in the preseason. I mean, I'm sorry. I got to go against Dan on that. They got to get at least 2 or 3, a couple of quarters worth of work.
Didn't we win the second week in 2022, and that's how we ended up 1-7 through the first 8?
Mm-hmm.
We've gone 1-1 3 years in a row with a better roster than what we had in 2021. There was no way we were winning week 2 in 2021. That roster was so dog shit, it looked up to see the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah. It was pretty bad. But yeah, Dan's going to have to make that decision to do that. I mean, that's the only thing I thought him of doing. They need to play those guys at least a couple of series, even if it's in the first quarter. Just play a couple of series so they can get the feel of the game.
I would rather them take the first game of the preseason and give a half to the starters. Get it out of the way. That way, if any little minor nicks and injuries happen, they got time to get healthy because you still got 3 to 4 more weeks before the season starts.
Exactly. Instead of having, it's bad enough that they don't do that. And then this was what happens. The players get injured during the course of the beginning of the season, and then they're out for the rest of the year because they didn't do anything in the preseason.
Do you want to know what was the difference week 1 in the 8 teams that did play their starters this preseason?
They won.
They either won or they had a competitive game against another team that started their starters.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the main one that happened where it ended up being the way we wanted it because we said the Chargers would win was the Chiefs and Chargers. Both of them started their starters for approximately 1 quarter of the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
And look at that game. That was a good game to watch. It was 21-24 or something like that.
Yeah. Chargers won that game. I mean, it could go off the balance to say that it didn't help Kansas City any because they're 0-3. Well,
no,
are they 0-3? They're 1-2. 1-2.
They're 1-2. Remember, they beat the
they beat the Giants.
Sorry, Leonard.
Yeah.
So that's my key players, and I'm going to get into it now. On offense, it's the trios. I should say the quadruplet. Amon-Ra, Monty, Gibbs, and Goff. Everybody else will get theirs because the targets have to be spread around. But all 4 of those guys got to be playing good. And in order for those guys to be playing good, it starts with the 5 up front.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, through 3 weeks, guess who our worst offensive lineman is?
I would say it's high between
the veteran in the middle.
Decker and Glasgow. Well, Glasgow's not been bad. You guys are not missing. He's great on pass offense. He sucks on run offense. Whereas the two guards, they are good on run offense, but not good on pass offense. It's funny how they work. But
Tate Ratledge got a 91 in pass protection last week, I thought, when we looked it up. Or was I looking at it wrong? I could have been looking.
All of them were in the top 10 as far as
PFF with Decker, Sewell, and Tate Ratledge. It was 1, 4, and 9 with Ratledge at 4 for all offensive linemen. No, it was run. It was run protection. I remember now. I got it here.
So their offense. Yeah, it was Panay, Ratledge, Taylor, Christian, and Glasgow was 10. He had a 63.8 offense, but his pass blocking was 71.2 though.
Yeah, it was that's good. It's not great. It's good.
71.2 is awesome. 48.3 is not. And that's what Christian Mahogany had. But he had a 71.5 run blocking. See, that's what I'm talking about.
I know.
See,
but I'm saying
when you go up to Ratledge, he had a 90.2 run blocking, and his pass blocking was 68.5. That's
which isn't far off. No, anything above 65 is considered good to great, right? Isn't that what they say? Okay.
Yeah, so, anything in a light green on PFF is good. So, like I said,
Jahmyr Gibbs with a pass blocking grade of 81.8.
Mm-hmm.
So he must have did something this offseason to get better. That's what I like.
Montgomery only had a 78, but he had look at Montgomery's run.
Look at that UDFA that I talked about when we picked him up, that Zach Cunningham. Remember I read off the scouting profile to you?
Yeah.
Look at that grade. He may have only played 2 snaps.
I was saying that was the greatest pickup they had, was Zach Cunningham. I knew he was going to do something when he came in here. I love that pickup.
And just like last year when we got Nowoski back because Arizona was stupid and put him back on the practice squad, I said, you watch, he'll make the active 53 next year after preseason. I said that when we picked him up the year before, just because I seen that kid at Saginaw Valley State University when I was still living in Bay City, that is.
Pat O'Connor didn't have a good game.
No, Pat O'Connor was kind of straight booty cheek. And it was our UDFA pickup, our waiver wire pickup, backup tackle that was on that the weird play where the defensive tackle sat back in his eye. Yeah, Tyrus Wheatley.
Yeah, he had a decent game. He was all right. And Tyleek, according to PFF, Tyleek had a moderate to not good game. But
and it was a great game.
I mean, he did. I mean, as far as his coverage, I don't expect any defensive lineman to have good coverage grades. Right. But tackling and run and against a run defense is not the greatest. But for a rookie, that's fine. I mean, I expect him not to have a great game every year. Tyler Lacey was another guy we got, and he did pretty well. He was 12. DJ Reader didn't have a very good game, but again, it's individually these guys didn't have a good game. Uniformly, though, everybody had a good game as far as the defense was concerned, because if one person wasn't playing well, it's kind of like that whole situation putting in the Tigers. When you have their lineup, if 2 people aren't batting right good or they're falling off batting, everybody else picks that up. It's the same thing with this defensive line. 1 or 2 people might not be doing all that well, but uniformly that defensive line is killing them because somebody else can step up.
I'll tell you a Tiger on the offensive side that doesn't get to start a lot, but comes in and makes big hits when they need it. Jahmai Jones. I like that kid because he can come in cold in the middle of the game, first at bat, gets an over the get me over fastball to start off like some pitchers do. What does he do? Takes it yard. It's good seeing a kid do that when he gets his shot. You know what I mean? I like him for the Tigers. He's one of the guys that that stays. You know what I mean? Like we paid Torque, right? We got him still for a while.
Yeah, he's a youngster.
Yeah, this kid's a rookie, Jahmai Jones. I have the feeling he's cracking the starting lineup next year because Parker Meadows, even since he came back, he'll have a couple games where he does good and then he falls off and then he goes up and then he falls off.
Well, when he came back, he was tearing it
up.
100%.
100% Cole Trickle. Great name, by the way.
Cole Trickle.
The only way it could have, the only way, hey, I said it's a real defense. I ain't playing. Jim Short coaches a great defense.
Dan has said that too. They ain't taking this defense lightly.
That defense is one of the best. But right now, I think we're a top 10 offensive line, if I remember right.
Ooh. The NFL will play a regular season game in Rio in 2026. Rio de Janeiro. Now that's where you need it. That's a spot to play football at.
Oh.
And then Saw.
Okay. Unfortunately, we were just bragging him out, and this report just came out. Dan Campbell says Zach Cunningham has a hamstring issue and will not play this Sunday.
Damn. Yeah, he had limited practice Thursday.
Yep.
Yesterday. Nothing for today. And he didn't practice on Wednesday. I wonder if they did. Yeah, I know he's in his press conference. He's in his presser right now because I just got that update. So we're just worried about Taylor Decker. He didn't play Wednesday or Thursday. That might be just a veteran thing, though. Daniel Thomas won't play anyway. Siyan Vaki, that's another guy.
He's probably not playing.
And that's probably good because now, because Netflix is coming back. So Netflix was out last time.
So
Derek Barnes should be fine.
Everybody that's been on the Cleveland Browns injury report has either had limited practice or full practice Thursday.
Yeah, Joe Batanio has got full practice Thursday.
Got full practice. Conklin is limited.
Myles Garrett, I don't even know why he's on it. He's got Myles Garrett's on there because of rest. That's just veteran shit.
And we've done this the last 2 weeks in a row with Decker. I live in Michigan and I'm a Lions fan. I can be honest, I have never been a fan of Goff. You know what? I hear that and I understand that people are not a fan of Goff, but he's leading the league in completion percentage. He's I think he's second or third in yardage. And right now he has 7 touchdowns. I think he's having a pretty good season.
Let me ask you something, Cole. Why are you not a fan of Goff? I need a reason.
I can almost guarantee it because it's the same thing I heard from everybody that actually wanted us to get rid of Goff instead of re-signing him when we drafted Hooker. Remember, because that was the year we signed him. You want to know what it was? Yeah, athleticism. It's athleticism. Guarantee it. Want to bet me on it?
No, I know. No, because he's not Lamar Jackson.
Right.
He's not Josh Allen. I don't understand that principle, though. Because, the majority of quarterbacks that go to the Super Bowl have been pocket passers.
He says, I share the same first name as the man, and I'm not a fan. All right, Jared. Gotcha. Hey, you know what? You could have made it better.
I mean, okay, the only way, really? Cole, really, dude? Cole, really?
I'm going to make a suggestion there, Cole. The only way you could have made your YouTube name better is if you'd have just used the first name Richard.
Dick Trickle.
You got it.
That's an actual racer, though. Cole Trickle.
I know it was.
Is the fast. What is it called? The movie with Tom Cruise and my man.
Days of Thunder. Days of Thunder.
Yeah, Days of Thunder. Yeah. Cold trickle.
There was a cold trickle in the Craftsman Truck Series too at one time, but in real life, I think he was a relative of Richard.
Goff is not a big game quarterback.
He's 12-2 in prime time. 12-2 in prime time as a Lion.
Again, that's incorrect. You guys got to come better with these Goff things, because you can say you don't like Goff. If you don't like him as a person, I can understand that. But if you're talking about you don't like him as a quarterback and you can't find a reason other than you can say he's not a big game quarterback. I don't know. He's not. He's a just like JB just said. What is he in primetime games?
12-2.
There you go.
As a Lion, that's not even including when he was with the Rams, when he beat Mahomes on that Monday Night Football game in the highest scoring football game. When he out Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
He threw for more yards, more touchdowns, and had, one interception in that game? And Pat Mahomes threw 3 in that 54-51 shootout in overtime, if I remember right.
And again, that's based on teams, okay? I mean, he still showed, when a quarterback plays well enough in a game with the rest of the team,
Fred, I love it. I live in Michigan, and I don't like golf either.
Yeah,
that's why I fish and do shooting sports.
There you go. I don't like golf either. That's a good one, though.
I love it. One. Oh.
What was that?
The whole team fell. Wait a minute. So the whole team fell apart this last offseason. And if you remember right, we did have 2 defensive stops on Washington to start that game. And as soon as Amit broke his arm and we had to put Kendall Vildor out there in his place, we were smoked because we weren't getting pressure. They weren't getting home. He was rolling out of it and he was making plays afterwards. And Kendall Vildor got beat like a screen door.
Oh, by the way, in that game that you were talking about, that was a 54-51 game. Jared Goff did not throw an interception in that game.
I thought
Mahomes had 3.
Yeah, I knew Mahomes had some. And look how many yards he threw for in that game. Good Lord.
Tyreek Hill was the only target he was going to, it looked like. He had 215 yards, Tyreek Hill did.
Didn't he throw for almost 300 for Mahomes?
Right, Mahomes threw for 478.
Okay,
how many did Goff? Over 400. 413 for Goff and 478 for Mahomes. He had 6 touchdowns and 3 interceptions.
Yeah, and Goff had 6 touchdowns and no interceptions, right?
And think about this too. The Rams had a 13-0 lead at the beginning here. I'm looking at the scoring right now. Yeah, it was pretty even all the way until
Oh, so you don't want to talk about the 3 touchdown passes that were dropped in the end zone and the one that should have been a touchdown pass that Brandon Cooks dropped outside the end zone. Don't mention that because he hit those guys in the hands. You're talking about a game that they barely lost, whereas if one of those guys would have caught it, it'd have made it a game. Wasn't that a 13-3 Super Bowl?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a pretty
lowest scoring Super Bowl in history.
Yeah, it was a boring Super Bowl. I mean, he went to the Super Bowl, so that's a big game. He
went to the Super Bowl.
He won an NFC He won an NFC conference, championship. So there's that. I mean, Lamar Jackson hasn't been in anything, and how come Lamar Jackson gets all the praise? Same thing for Josh Allen.
Okay, he at least has some common sense. He goes, I can say I like Goff better than Stafford.
No, I mean, Stafford's still a bit.
Stafford was great for us, but we didn't have the team
a top
or the coaching.
Yeah,
we didn't have the team or the coaching to make him get there. And
like
at the same time,
2 years, before Goff got traded for Stafford, I said, if you put Stafford, and this is before all that happened, if you put Stafford on a decent team, he's going to take him to the Super Bowl. Bam!
Yeah, and guess what? Here's the crazy thing. Do you know the Rams wouldn't have been playing catch-up if they'd have called that penalty on T. Higgins in that Super Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
Because he pushed off on Jalen Ramsey and grabbed him by the face mask. That's 2 penalties at one. One, the push-off for offensive pass interference, and then a 15-yard on top of it. Because the one is a spot ball foul, and that means the 15 yards should have been added on top of that.
That's true. Well, the playoff game, yeah, I can say one playoff game he did cost him. That was the last one. But the year before that, he was spotless. And
Yeah.
I think he threw one interception that whole playoff run. It was, again, people dropping passes when they shouldn't have been dropping passes. They just fell apart in the second half of that San Francisco game. That's all you can say about that one. But it wasn't golf.
Yeah, the biggest 3 plays that killed us in the San Francisco game. Number 1, the bounce pass to Ayuk. Number 2, the fumble on the same kickoff after a field goal. Jahmyr Gibbs fumbled on the first play from scrimmage.
Well, I mean,
no, Tariq Skubal had some good games during that playoffs last year. He had one bad game. Guess what? It's the same team he's always had trouble with. That team gives him trouble. Cleveland. Yeah. Cleveland gives the Tigers fit. You know, they're the only team in the American League with a winning record since we had that run last year to now against the Detroit Tigers. The only team with a total winning record. Everybody else is 500 or less. Good morning, BT.
Well, you gotta call me that, man.
Hey,
I was just liking you again, Dan.
Hey, Leonard, you might have a shot this week since you got Jackson Dart starting instead of Old Man Wilson.
You ain't got no shot.
Oh yeah, who are they playing?
Chargers.
Oh God, help them. Yeah,
right.
He goes, because it's funny. Yes.
So you got JB laughing.
Oh, I feel sorry for Jackson Dart. Thank God they don't have Bosa anymore. You should be happy they don't have Bosa, but they still got Mac coming back. They don't have Najee Harris.
Well, no, Mac's not coming back. He won't be out in there for another couple games, too. He's out for 4 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan, Mr. Buzzy, you're ugly mug too scared to get on the screen? Yes, he is.
Yep. Chicken
Wait,
shit.
I'll help you. I'll get him here. Let me find it. There he is. The garden gnome.
Now that's funny. That's all right, Dan.
Well, I will say this. When you're one of the best in baseball and your team doesn't put up any crooked numbers at all to help you maintain that, it does get in a pitcher's head. Just ask Paul Skeens.
So anybody want to redo their pick on Washington versus who are they playing?
I chose Washington.
Well, you know, Scary Terry's not playing. And neither is Daniels. Both of them are out.
Oh, good. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I
Who
don't care.
Again?
The fail camp. They're playing the fail camp.
Yeah, they're playing in Atlanta.
I don't care. I'm still taking
Atlanta. Yeah, I know. Carolina did them a job, but Carolina's not a good team either. People, that's just one of them division games that Carolina always wins one game against them.
One thing I can tell you is he actually went to Fry's room and said he was sorry. He lost control of a fastball that it slipped out of his hands. He did not mean to hit him in the face, and he did react to it. They didn't show it on camera because it was while he was being tended to. He walked up and shook the man's hand and said, "Man, I promise you, I did not mean that."
Yeah, he threw the ball and his mitt down, and he was, they showed him looking horrified at the whole situation. He was after that too. He was not pitching well at all.
Yeah, that one visibly affected his whole morale. Mm-hmm. And anybody that is gonna shit on him for it, I don't like it.
And another Hinch one where he left him in the game to try to, and he was visibly shaken up. Now Hinch, I can't tell you how much that you can see that he was visibly shaken up, and you thought he was going to be able to pitch after that. dude, you should have went to somebody in the bullpen and started pitching. And it's nope, we're gonna leave Screwball in there because he's Screwball. No, dude, he's a human being. Take his ass out because he was through at that point.
I know it's there. Here's the guys you got to watch to see if they play for the Browns. It's Jack Conklin, Grant Delpit, Mike Hall Jr., Shelby Harris, Cedric Tillman, and Denzel Ward.
They all had limited playing. Yeah,
those are the ones that they haven't announced are in or out yet for the game.
Yeah, I pretty much think that they're all going to play, to tell you the truth. Especially if they had limited practice. A lot of them had limited. Two of them, Miles Garrett, we're not even counting. Right. David Njoku had full practice, so he's good. All of them had limited practice. So as long as they had limited practice, to me, that means they're going to be able to. And they haven't come out with anything for today yet, obviously, because they haven't finished today's practice. Right. But that'll be the true test to see who's going to be playing.
Al-Qadim Bahamid returned to practice for the Lions yesterday, so I think he's going to be fine. They haven't said anything about him.
He had limited playing time.
And I'm wondering with that injury to Zach Cunningham, if that's going to make it so they finally give Andre Carter a chance, because I'd like to see what he can do in a game as a rotation.
Have they called him up? Is he still? I haven't seen him. I haven't seen
him. No,
I'm
saying on Sunday when they do the inactives, they take six off the roster and then they call up 6 practice squad players.
Yeah,
that's the one I'm talking about. I'm not talking about where they sign him. I'm talking about where they just call him up so he can play in a game.
Well, they'd have to do that pretty much before Sunday. They have to do that tomorrow or today. They have to do that today, wouldn't they?
No, those are not announced usually to the last minute. I've seen it be on Saturday, and
he has to be on a roster for that to even happen, though.
No. He's on the practice squad. What I'm saying is you have 6 guys on the roster that you make an inactive. You know what I'm saying? So there's the injury inactives, which Zach Cunningham's going to be one of them already. We know that. So there's 5 more to go. They make that decision just before game time. That's always done on the day, like 3 hours before game time, like 2 to 3 hours before game time is when that final.
Well, I know that, but at the same time, you're not calling a practice squad player up there.
They do it every week. It's done every week. It's done every week. You six players off your active roster, and you call.
Like I said, but they don't do that on Sunday. They can't do that on Sunday.
They do it. They do it every week. That's what they do.
But they're on a practice squad. They got to be called up, though.
No.
Just put a practice squad.
There's call-ups where they go out and they're able to play in the game, and they go right back to the practice squad because they're not on the active roster. It's to let guys rest. It's to let your rotational guys rest. It's done every week.
Well, I haven't seen that, so I can't. That probably won't even happen.
It's one of the things that the Lions have been very good about, because you know what that also makes it able for you to do. You're able to restart that whole 4-game protected on the practice squad counter, because if they play an inactive game, just as a active replacement for an inactive active player, when you put them back on the practice squad, you can put them right back on the protected list. They did a whole article about it this offseason. Brad Holmes is a genius at it. He does it so he can say, okay, this guy's only got a week left. We're going to call him up this week just before the game. That's how they do that.
Well, based on what I see from their transaction report.
No, it's not a transaction, though. That's what you're not understanding. It's like a preseason call-up type stuff. It doesn't matter. You know, your whole roster is active, but you don't see the starters, right? In the preseason. Once you get to the regular season, you got your 53-man roster, and then you got your 16 on the practice squad. Those 16, 6 of them get called up every week, and you don't even hear about it. Every week. That's why when you see a name you don't recognize off the active roster making plays, even if it's just in rotation, it's because they were called up for rotation. That's what I'm talking about. It happens every week.
Well, like this one, Detroit signed offensive lineman Tristan Colon to the active roster from the practice squad.
No. I'm not talking about that type of call up. That's what I'm trying to tell you. There's game call ups done on game day. It's done every week. 6 players are set to rest every week off the active roster, and 6 call ups come from the practice squad every week off the roster. And it's not active roster call ups, is what I'm saying. They're not being signed to the active roster. It's just a game call up. They do it every week. Every team does it. Because not last week, but the week before during the Bears, Jackson Meeks was called up and he wasn't signed. He played in the Bears game.
Okay.
Just like 2 players from the practice squad Monday.
And
yeah.
And NFL, yeah, okay, you're right. And elevate 2 practice players to active squad. So 2 practice, two practice squad can be not 6. It could be 2.
Okay. Still, you see what I'm talking about. There is game day call ups, is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go Lions, baby. Hey, nice picture of the family there, Blake. They've been doing great. We're starting out the season just like I said. The one game that we thought would be a loss is not a loss. I thought we'd be either 1-2 or 2-1 at this point. I said it already. I thought the Ravens would be a loss prior to the season. BNBA talked about it. But I looked at the numbers and I looked how bad that defense had looked through 2 games and how the Dolphins hung in with them and what we hung on to Chicago. And I told him, I said, it might be a 2-score game. And if it wasn't for the refs cheating and giving them a field goal when they didn't deserve it, we did beat them by 2 scores.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care what anybody says. That final score should have been 38-27 because that's what happened on the field.
I don't know if Shedura's going to be playing.
Oh, yeah. After the Browns, we have a bunch of the only reason why I think this is going to be a double-digit win is because it's not because of the Browns' defense. It's because the Browns' offense is that horrible. Quinshon Judkins looks like he is going to be a good running back because he's able to do things other running backs couldn't do behind that porous O-line. But they're going to ride him to death like they did Nick Chubb and everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's see. Week 5, we got the Bengals. Nope, that's not a test. Then we got the Chiefs. I'm sorry, the Chiefs ain't what they were, so we'll probably beat them again.
It's still a test because it's on the road. I'm gonna give the Chiefs a little credit on the road in their house. They're good.
Then we got Tampa Bay at home.
But that's gonna be a toss-up.
Okay. That'll be a toss-up.
Well, no, Mike Evans should be out still that game because he just went on the IR for 4 games.
Yeah, 4 games. Yeah, what is this, week 4? Yeah, that'll be his last week.
Yep.
And then we have, of course, week 8. Well, week 7 is that. Yeah, he'll be out. So week 8 is our bye. Week 9 we got Minnesota Vikings. I'm sorry.
Yep, Chris Godwin is still on limited practice and still questionable to play. He has not been declared in, but he's trending towards playing. The one that has been declared in is Tristan Wirfs on the O-line, which is huge for them because ever since he's been out, that's why they lost the one game.
They still got Gadecki out, and they still have Maui out too. The guard. The guard's out.
Oh, okay.
So one of the guard and the other tackle is out. So that's going to still be hurting their offensive line. But they've been managing. I mean, Urban's been looking really well. Then we got to play the Commanders in Week 10. Still a winnable game.
Yeah, because they're not the same team as they were last year. They're not playing the same. The defense isn't playing as good, and that's the biggest thing I see.
Yeah, Philadelphia is the only team that I think that we'll have a problem with.
Well, we just lost the huddle, but I don't care because we're having fun talking with the people in the comments. I love going over because of comments, so I just dropped the huddle as where we're streaming into. Why go into it if we're not live? Because the daily
it was giving you a warning or something like that.
Yeah, it told me the daily huddle just went live on it because it automatically boots you out when the next show goes live. So I just removed it from the stream.
There you go.
So we can keep talking because this is what I love to do. I love talking football. I love talking strategy. I love talking those little rules and nuances that a lot of people don't pay attention to. But with Zach Cunningham being announced out, that's what I'm saying. The game day call-up could be Andre Carter because he does play off. He does do off-ball linebacker and defensive end. And I think that would be a good call-up.
Week 12 is the Giants and get out of here. And then we got Green Bay at Thanksgiving. Green Bay is a team I thought we knew. Green Bay is a team that I knew they were going to be. Then we got Dallas. Dallas is a shell of themselves now. Then we got the Rams. That'll be a difficult game.
At LA.
We got Steelers. Aaron Rodgers' daddy is still playing. As long as he's still alive and playing, he'll be fine. Which would be Kirby, his other receiver.
Yeah, I was to say in his last game, wasn't his last touchdown pass a touchback to Kirby Joseph?
There you go.
Packer. Wasn't that his last?
Right. That was it. Mm-hmm. And then we got the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears at away, so we have to go there.
Oh yeah,
Chicago Bears might be a little bit difficult, but
you know what's funny is everybody says, "Oh, Green Bay is still a difficult because it's a short week." It's a short week for them too. Let's not sugarcoat it. It's a short week for both teams. You know what's nice about that is that after it's basically a mini bye week. Because you get 10 days off minimum.
I'm sorry, I don't see anything that's going to tell me that we ain't going to lose to Green Bay. We're going to beat Green Bay's ass in that game.
The only thing I'm worried about is the moon phase. Come on now, JB's always got to say something funny. You know that. That's how I roll. But I'm going to say this: it was great to be celebrating a victory Tuesday. It was great because this is the main reason why I think that was the best part. Is seeing that go across that screen on ESPN where all of them said, yeah, they're not winning today. Look at all those scores and how ass backwards they were. And look, Marcus got the score right.
Yeah.
He got the score right. I'll give him credit for that.
Let me see if I can do something here.
Even Mina Kimes said she thought that the Ravens would win 31-28 prior to the game.
So do you remember Brandon, Jeremy? He's a Detroit fan. He's my boy, my best friend, and he's a Lions fan. Well, he went to Baltimore with his pops. His pops is a Ravens fan.
Yes, sir.
His pops is a Ravens fan, so they go to Baltimore when the Lions play Baltimore, and so after the game, you know, ESPN did their after show, and they pan to the crowd. And if you can add that picture there real quick, that's Brandon right there and his son Aiden with the glasses.
Nice.
I was like, damn! I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. That was when they were all the Lions fans came down to the bottom of the stage,
right?
Bottom of the thing, because they were like in the third deck or whatever the hell they were at in the stadium. But I was like, and when they panned it, I saw his son. I was like, okay, well, where's his dad at? And then they panned it over, and then here he was. And I was cool. That was pretty cool. I like that. Finally, I got to see your guy. All right. Yeah, it was an ass whooping. There you go. That's right. Every day at noon, smoking Jeremy B.
And then we got the 9 p.m. on Wednesday. We got the NFL Roundtable Talks on Friday at 9 p.m. I do the Lions Fan Cave chat. And then at 10 p.m. on Saturday, we Austin Hacker and I do our fantasy football talk. So, yes, I am live every day but Sunday. Sunday, I stay off of podcasts. Why? Because I'm not going to burn my ass out like that like I did 2 years ago.
Yeah, Thursday's my day off. Although that might be changing pretty soon too. Because I work Saturday morning and Sunday morning. But it'll be all right.
So yes, I love going live, Blake. It's a fun thing for me. I love doing this stuff. I'm also a guest on the other 2 nights on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you have a good day.
Good for you, Blake. Thanks, Blake.
Hey, I worked the last 2 days. I work again tomorrow. I have a weird schedule because I'm partially retired because I can't do the physical work of tires anymore. So I get to manage for 5.5 hours a day, and I don't mind it. You know what's better? You know what's good about managing for 5.5 hours a day? I got a chair just like this in that freaking office. When my back hurts, I just do this.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that,
I do so much stuff in my office. It's hilarious. And my guys are coming in. I don't really have to, since I got a good crew, I don't really have to do too much, but there's times when they run into a problem on the high-lows and I have to explain certain things to them. But other than that, I mean, that's like once in a blue moon. I'm sitting in my office most of the time doing paperwork and watching podcasts. So
I'm either watching podcasts or I'm messaging the chat groups, and when I'm not working because I'm active in there. And when I am working, because guess what? You don't see me talking for 5 hours, 5 to 5.5 hours. You just don't see me. Then that's the only time you don't see me say anything anymore is when I'm working. And the reason why is we have our group on Facebook, and that's where I get a lot of podcasters from other teams or fans of other teams. That NFL Roundtable Talks, I think, is my most fun show out of all of them. I enjoy this because I like talking to the fans. I said, but that show in particular, when you get all those different opinions and people of different fans, you get a little bit of that shit talking back and forth, like when you got Kitty Ken and Panda Ken, as Keegan calls them. You got the Bear
Panda Ken. Was that Panda Ken for is that the Bear fan?
Yeah. I think it's like that. I got to get an AI meme.
That's awesome for him. Ken. Yeah, there you go. Panda Ken. That's hilarious.
We always got Kitty Ken. Kitty Ken's right here.
Yeah, we always got Kitty Ken.
We got Kitty Ken right here, right down to the beard. Oh, 7 to 35. Oh, I love it. Fred says, LOL, most times you see me, I'm supposed to be working. Yeah. Hey, that's okay. I appreciate the fact that I can share my articles on Facebook and Twitter. And BA reads them. He actually reads them. Sometimes I put the preview in, but I realize now that I'm getting better at writing and they're a little longer than they used to be. They don't quite fit in the chat anymore.
No, but I like them. I mean, you've been magnificent the last few ones that you put out. So, I mean, you're obviously getting the grasp of it, truly getting the grasp of it, because they're really good articles. I'm one of them ADD type of people. If I don't see something I want to see in the first couple of sentences, I don't bother reading it. And that's what's different about you, JB. You got my attention, so I can read the whole thing, and I don't, I feel I learn a little bit too.
I love that on Google I got my first review, and I screenshot it to you guys exactly what it said about how I write from a fan's perspective rather than analytical. And I think that's why the fans relate to it more.
Yeah.
If you can get past the couple of ads that they do on that website, because in order for you to afford a website anymore to maintain it, you need those ad revenues. So you got to put ads on there, and I hate it because it makes us look like a rinky-dink clickbait sport. But if you actually read all the articles, we're not that. The other
It's
thing
no different than if you had a regular paper,
right?
You know, like the old days, you had paper. You had advertisements in the middle of all them damn commentaries and sports stuff, and anyway, so it's the same thing. It's just you're just looking at it, you know, on a internet instead of you looking at it in a paper form. So,
but other than finding me on the South Florida Tribune, you could also look, because we get the Lions pressers email where it's the quote sheet. So if you didn't have time to watch the presser, the quote sheets are on there for the Lions, the Dolphins, the Jacksonville Jaguars. There's also, if you're into college ball outside of Michigan, you want to hear stuff that's going on, he's got Miami Hurricanes, Florida State, USF Bulls, and a few others on there in the ACC one. So you can actually get a lot of information, and I use those because guess what that helps me with? Scouting for next draft. And everybody's like, well, how do you know so much about these players? I read about them for a year. Or sometimes 3. You know, if it's football, you read about them for 3. If it's baseball, you could read about them for 3 months. And because let's face it, they only stay in school a year anymore. I'm kind of glad that the NCAA is technically a farm system for the professional leagues. And you have to say leagues now because there's more than one. The main one is the NFL. That's Division 1A. I mean, you can't say it isn't. Then you got the UFL. The CFL just changed the rules about a lot of things in the CFL. So it's going to be closer to scoring and having to use a more NFL style playbook. So it actually may become watchable over the next couple of seasons.
Well, they did change a lot of things, but they did revert back after the players started complaining about certain things. And so they did change back to some CFL things too. So
yeah, they changed.
It's got a 50-50 thing.
Right. They did. They still leave it if you just miss the field goal at the point. So, and I think that's gay. Well, guess what? That means that we beat them by 10 points on Monday because that should have been a 1-point field goal in the CFL.
Because I saw got some goofy ass rules.
Yeah, I know. But they did actually open up the entire end zone finally. You can't just catch it underneath where the goalpost is. I think that's stupid. But if you're going to have a 5-yard wider field, let them use the whole damn thing.
Like this rule here, the rule regarding rough play have been updated, include all low block penalties on kick plays and any punching actions, open or close hands to the head area. Okay, so that's automatic ejection for the CFL.
So that's about damn time.
Yeah. Let's see, penalty restrictions.
So the actual completion percentage for Jared Goff is 77.9 this season.
So yep, almost 78. But you might as well say 78.
He's tied with 3 other quarterbacks at 7 touchdowns, which is second in the NFL. There's only one quarterback with 1 more touchdown than him. Do you know what it is? Real easy. They're 3-0. No, they're 3-0.
Stafford? No, Stafford's not 3-0. Jalen Hurts?
Justin motherfucking Herbert.
Oh, Justin Herbert. Yeah, that was a damn.
That's the one you should have. I thought you had that. I should have
said that the first time. Yeah, I should have got that one first.
Stafford has 5 because they've had some defensive touchdowns. They haven't had to do it all with the offense. But man, how brutal is that to be leading by 6 points, getting ready to set up for a field goal, get it blocked, and have big old Jerry Ball looking Jordan Davis running back.
I know Stafford was like sick. He said, damn, I let us down there twice. They kick a field goal, and you motherfuckers can't stop somebody from blocking it. What the hell's wrong with y'all?
And everybody's like, well, he jumped over the center. I said, no, he jumped between the center and guard. He didn't push off, and that's legal. That has been a legal play. That's why the Bears block on the Packers was huge for them. That's why the Packers block earlier in the season on the Bears was huge for them.
Mm-hmm.
They went between. They pushed off their own players, which is not illegal.
Yeah, and on top of that too, he said that they blocked the first kick. They blocked two of them. They blocked the first one. He said it was just the way the kicker was. You got to look at how the kicker is kicking the ball too. If he's doing low trajectory, you have a chance to get in there to block it, and that's what happened. Right. The kicker didn't make an adjustment when he kicked, so they blocked it the second time. And when the kicker doesn't do his job, that's what happens.
Man, the kick that I was most upset about, and it wasn't the fact he missed, it was how close it was and how far it looked like he could have made it from Bates in that Ravens game.
Mm-hmm.
Because that 68-yarder looked like it could have made it from 80. It was halfway up the goalpost.
I wanted to make it. I said, how ironic would that be for him to kick that 67-yard field goal and beat Justin Tucker, who usually was beating us all the time with his stupid ass foot. I said that'd be great. Just do it in M&T Bank Stadium too. That would be awesome.
Also at the middle of the game, not the end of the game. Just no pressure, no clutch situation. What the hell? Let him try it.
Yeah, I like that.
He's got the leg. I think we're going to see him trying more shots like that, but probably more indoors because that's where he's money.
Mm-hmm. And that wasn't a bad kick. It just it just happened to just float a different way. Yeah, I mean it was like it had to be at least 2 feet from the bar.
It was they said it was close to 18 inches off the bar.
Yeah, there you go.
So it was only 6 inches further out than the one they called a good field goal. They could have called it good for him to make it even.
Well, it could have been 1 point for the CFL.
Yeah, it would have been 1 point in the CFL. Both of them would have been.
It would have been. Yes, it would.
But it does go down as a field goal miss still. That's okay. We're coming to the end of the program because, let's face it, my nickname's Smoking Jeremy for a reason. I need to get outside and have a cigarette. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. DA, tell them how to get a hold of you.
So catch us at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the One Ass Cheek Three Toes, where we talk Lions. The post game, which will be Cleveland, and in the pregame, which will be who is our next opponent? Cincinnati. So Cincinnati will be our next person. So catch us on that. We have pick'ems. We're doing an extended pick'ems this time too, with the bets and injuries and stuff like that, because that's what the people want. And then you can catch me, of course, every Friday afternoon with Jeremy B. Every Wednesday, because I'm on his show then too, for the Roundtable. And I do all kinds of production for other shows too, so I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to spare you the grief.
All right. Thank you, everybody, and have a great day.
This is a Huddle